Well, won't you look at that? I have a $25 Fandango gift card sitting here collecting dust. It's a pity that I happen to find it while the whole world is doomed. There's no theater to go to. Luckily, Fandango itself has an iTunes clone where all the latest new releases reside. What should I blow it all on today? Not Invisible Man. That was the last thing I saw before society went to shit. Fantasy Island? Bloodshot? Tom Hardy is a sick shitting Al Capone?
Hey, you fucking deaf boy. You fucking deaf.
Who do you think you're talking to?
Kanya stupido.
How about Trolls World Tour? That's the one that started this whole home premiere thing, and I guess murdered the film industry or whatever. Should I watch that tonight? Scoob, huh? Well, alright. I mean, I grew up on a lot of Scooby-Doo cartoons, but then again, who hasn't? It's a ubiquitous franchise that's been consistently churning out shows, spin-offs, rip-offs, and more for over 50 years. It's like herpes, it'll never go away. Still, I do have fond enough memories of watching these hippie people relive the same experiences over and over again while not learning a damn thing. I had a DVD copy of Monsters Unleashed that I used to watch repeatedly. It left an impact in my impressionable little mind. And here I am now. So this is the first theatrical animated... So this is a bigger budgeted than usual direct-to-digital Scooby-Doo thing, as well as the supposed kickstart of a Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. It's sort of strange to me that Warner Brothers is trying to do another animated franchise, because their last attempt didn't go over very well. But hey, that shouldn't matter if the movie's good. I mean, I rented it a few days before its release date, which was the same time I found my card. There weren't any other reviews yet, so who knows? Maybe it could be another Lego Movie situation. Let's see how things play. Yeah, this movie sucks. I had pretty low expectations, yet this is somehow worse than I thought. It's one thing for a story to just be kind of bland and predictable, but it's a whole other thing for it to be a goddamn mess. This may be the most weirdly convoluted, overstuffed kids movie plot I've seen since either Cars 2 or that Matthew Broderick Mouse movie. It's 94 minutes, yet it feels so much longer. It's just a bombardment of plot beats and cliches and references, one after the other. Here's how the Mystery Gang met as kids, now they're adults and already Shaggy and Scooby split off from them thinking that they're useless. But then they're attacked by robots built by Dick Dastardly from Wacky Races, but then they meet Blue Falcon, who's not actually Blue Falcon but his incompetent son with sidekicks who are smarter than him, but the mystery team feels guilt about how they treated the two and they drive around to learn about Dick, and it turns out Scooby's related to Anubis or something. They have to do this while bringing Muttley back, and there's a rift caused in Shaggy and Scooby's friendship. I could just keep going like this and not even bring up Captain Caveman. Like, that's way too much shit to cram into your first film. None of these plots ever tie well together. It will go from Scooby and Shaggy hanging around the ship, acting like idiots alongside Blue Falcon. Then it will cut to Dick Dastardly and his minion robots trying to rescue Muttley and get rich or something. Then it will cut to the remaining Mystery Gang, who are so underutilized and underdeveloped in this. It's always the same joke of, Fred is dumb, Velma is smart, Daphne is there. It's not like they were ever deep characters, but they had personality and they usually contribute to stuff. It was way too early in the movie for them to split with Shaggy and Scoob, so it's all just filler. The first live action one had them split off even earlier, yet they were still together for a lot of it. That probably wouldn't help, because the voices still suck. Oh my god, the voice acting. Apart from Frank Welker, who returned to play Scooby, this is a victim of the omnipresent casting of celebrity voices in animated films in a sad attempt to sell to parents. And a particularly bad one at that. Will Forte is not a good Shaggy.
What do you mean, like carry a briefcase and wear a tie and pay taxes?
Plenty of people can do Shaggy's voice.
Let's see, do you guys have any Scooby snacks?
And he can't. And unfortunately, him and maybe Jason Isaacs as Dick are the only celebrities who are actually putting an effort into sounding like the characters. Because nobody even tried. Gina Rodriguez didn't even try as Velma.
They were trying to scare all the heirs off the island.
And then, you know, throw that hand in prison for trying to kill our friends.
Ken Jeong did not try as Dynamite.
What do you know? My voice tape's got the hiccups.
And yet here I am, without him.
Tracy Morgan did not try as Captain Caveman.
Me love tan fur.
Oh, word? No disrespect.
I don't know who to blame more, the actors, the casting people, the voice directors, the director, but everyone should be blamed for this. And what pisses me off more is that they didn't even need to do this. Scooby-Doo is a recognizable enough brand that seems to still sell. These voices and characters are iconic enough that as soon as you start changing them, people will notice. And even more egregiously, the actual voice actors were willing to return, but the studio chose to instead throw them under the bus. Why couldn't you get Matthew Lillard back? He was good enough to star in the live-action ones, and now he's old news because he's got a professional voice acting career? You were nice enough to let Frank Welker back as Scoob, but why not have him be Fred as well? It's not like he hasn't been voicing him since the very beginning. An even more striking counterpoint to this is the new SpongeBob movie coming out. Yeah, it'll probably be a corporate cash grab with CG animation and nostalgia pandering, but they at least had the decency to keep the original voice cast. Imagine if Paramount replaced Tom Kenny with some random celebrity. That would probably garner some strong backlash. If SpongeBob can keep its voices, why couldn't Scoob? And the jokes in this are so bad. They're either really obvious punchlines, characters rolling their eyes at the stupidity of others, or pop culture references.
That was the best death scene since Endgame.
Thank you.
They name drop stuff like Netflix, the Hemsworth brothers, Twitter.
Everybody say hashtag Foxy Falcon. Hashtag Foxy Falcon.
The big catalyst of the plot is that the gang are trying to appease their new sponsor, who is a creepily realistic looking Simon Cowell. Really? Are we still doing Simon Cowell jokes?
In the shallow. In the shallow.
What kids who are watching know anything about American Idol? Shrek 2 got away with it because it was both a DVD extra and the year 2004. And on the topic of creepy realism, the animation was okay, I guess. It was competent. Whenever they do a very cartoony movement, it looked fun. They do some kind of interesting things with the lighting and color palette in some scenes. I don't know if it's just me, but I felt that the rendering could have used a little more work. It sometimes unintentionally looked a little cheaper than it should. And the character designs are a weird mixed bag. On one hand, you have some that look pretty close to their classic image and are able to translate okay to computer graphics. But then you have others that look very Fortnite-y, if that makes any sense. I just made a pop culture reference. Guess that makes me no better than the movie. I don't even get why this had to be Scooby-Doo. The franchise's whole idea is about solving mysteries or stopping capers, like the opening part when their kids seem to imply that this was the direction they were heading. And yet they decided to make this a superhero Avengers type thing. And like, if the first film of the MCU was the Avengers, then there would be no MCU. You gotta make a good movie first, and a cinematic universe later. And not even that's true all the time. As much as I love the Lego movie, I wouldn't necessarily think of that as a franchise starter, and apparently I wasn't the only one. Maybe their plan was to have each movie headline an A-list property from their bunch. Like if this one's Scooby-Doo, maybe their next one would be like the Flintstones or something. And in each film, they'd have other Hanna-Barbera characters in them, but like the more B or C-list ones, like the Hair Bear Bunch or whatever. They already crammed in quite a bit of references in this. Oh damn, there's Squiddly Diddly, there's Hong Kong Phooey, there's a poster for the Banana Splits right next to a poster for the Hex Girls. They also put a lot of tributes to the cast and crew members of the original series, like Casey Kasem, the original voice of Shaggy, or Iwao Takamoto, the original character designer, or Don Masick, the original voice of Scooby, among various others. In a way, it's in a bit of a similar position as the Sonic movie, where I could tell that the people making this truly love and respect the source material, but whatever vision they may have gets far too corporately manufactured for my liking. The Addams Family movie had the same problem too. Both that and Scoob do the thing where they shot for shot recreate the original intro, and are also both written by the same screenwriter, so I know who to watch out for. So all in all, Scoob is due. Is it the worst out of the movies? Probably not. It just feels like another piece of wasted potential. You're better off just watching one of the many direct-to-video things they've made, like Zombie Island, or the one where they're puppets, maybe. Not sure about that last one. If you want a far better Hanna-Barbera crossover universe, watch Harvey Birdman Attorney at Law, which is straight up one of the funniest shows I've ever seen.
Secret. They nabbed you again for flashing, didn't they? Didn't you learn anything from the last time? Tisk, tisk.
Rub, rub.
If you still want to watch this despite everything I said, wait until it becomes cheaper to rent. It's not like it's ever going to be in theaters. 3 or 2 out of 10.